Anytime you try and put people into different categories, you're going to be oversimplifying things. But generally, people can fit into one of two categories. They're either an extrovert or an introvert. Extrovert means that you're more outgoing and social, and you're more about the outside world as your focus. And introvert means that you're more maybe shy, you're not as social and outgoing, you're much more internally driven, and you need time alone in order to recharge your batteries, so to speak. And a lot of people talk about how they're just different types of living, they're just different types of being, and nothing is necessarily better than anything else. But from my perspective, as someone who does consider himself to be highly introverted, let me just say that it really does suck. It's not a good thing, because it just makes life so much more difficult, in my opinion. First off, because we live in a highly socialized world. It's not a world where you just do your own thing. Whether it's going out and shopping for groceries or building your career, anything that you do is going to involve you being connected with other people. So the better that you are capable of working with other people, the easier life is going to be. If you're more shy, people can take that as rudeness. Like, oh, why isn't this person talking to me as easily? Or maybe they'll interpret it as someone who's just not interesting or someone who they don't want to talk to. There can be a million ways to interpret any interaction, but I feel like it's just so much easier to take it the wrong way if someone's not as outgoing as you would like them to be. Plus, I feel like there's a lot more heartache that can occur when someone's introverted, because think about it. When you're introverted, you're going to be investing in a few people most of the time. You're going to be giving a lot of focus and attention to those few people. Meanwhile, if you're extroverted, you're not going to be giving as much attention per person, but you're going to have a much wider social circle. Now, anybody who's gone out in the world and interacted and met with many people knows that at some point you're going to lose your friends. People always talk about friends are forever, and anybody who says that friends are forever, I just have to ask if you ever went to high school and graduated high school. Because the majority of people I considered friends then aren't really friends now. Not that I have a problem with them, I just haven't kept up with them. Like, I've had no way to keep up with them because I moved away, they moved away, and there's just no regular connection. I'm friends with Facebook on most of them, but that's not regular connection. You lose people so often, and if you're extroverted and you have so many people you're friends with, not only does everyone mean less to you, because when they go you still got plenty of people left, but you invested less in them, so it's not like you're losing as much. If you're more introverted and you don't go as broadly and you only have a few people, when they leave, that's a significant chunk of your friend circle. Plus, you put a lot of effort into that, so it's like, oh, well, all that wasted time. I always think about the idea of time being wasted, like that nihilistic perception, like you're wasting your time, why bother doing anything at all? And I don't believe in that. I don't think that way just because I don't think it's useful for society, but really it does beg the question, what's the point of focusing your attention on just a few select people if you know that you're not going to be close to them in a few years? It's like you could be focusing on many people, and then the gap that's left in your life when they leave is much smaller and much easier to repair. I don't know, maybe that's the wrong way to look at it, but that's just my perception. Maybe it's not even the introversion thing. Maybe that means something totally different that I don't know, and maybe there's something else wrong with me, I don't know, but from my perception, it seems like introvert matches me pretty closely, and by those descriptive categories, I think it kind of sucks, personally. So, I don't know, that's just my perception. Maybe other people would disagree and say that being introverted is better. I guess they say that you can walk slower and smell the flowers, but I don't know, I don't feel like just taking it in for yourself, having these experiences on your own is what's important. I feel like that's selfish, to be honest. To me, the most important thing is the way that you interact with others. And sure, the extrovert can be that douchebag guy who is a womanizer and doesn't really help his friends or anything like that, but that's not like a dichotomy, like you either have to be that or the guy who's slow and smells the flowers and such. I feel like there's a point where you're good, where you're open and social, but you're friendly as well. And I just feel like that's the point where I'm not at, and I'm trying to work on that. I really feel like I'm making progress, but it's just not natural for me, and it sucks, and it's uncomfortable. And I just wish it was more natural for me. I just wish it was something that I could more easily get into. Not using that as an excuse for myself, I'm still trying to push myself in that way, but I'm just saying that's my experience, and I just wish it was easier for me, like it seems to be easier for everybody else around me. I don't know.